going.
He's still going. Doing Mr. Bean? Oh, he's gone.
Made him to your own blender.
Alright, let's get some drones.
Milestone reached. Drones provide automated low-capacity aerial transport between drone stations. Stations need to be supplied with any kind of fuel for the drones to function. Fixit had several restrictions in place prohibiting creative use of drones. I have since removed those because I think no pioneer would ever misuse Fixit property right under their noses. Especially since everything is recorded.
Well, thanks, Ada. Alright, is there MP3 pipe that I see? Getting close, but nuclear power is next, so oh boy. Then resource wells, scannable water, scannable nitrogen gas, fused modular frames and heat sinks. Cool. Yep, we're gonna need all that to get these tiers done, so we'll continue on. Drop in here. Let's head over to what we've been working on. Alright guys, welcome back to episode, 4 in the series? And this is our aluminum facility where we were starting off last time at the end of episode 3. We got this going, but we got our train fully operational, heading over to our ICC station, which is picking up coal, copper, and eventually potentially ore, but it's back in the Greenlands over there. We're right next to our turbo fuel production. We've got our aluminum solution and silica plants running pretty much 24/7. There's a little bit of a balancing issue between the water and the production of silica solution, alumina solution, sorry. But for the most part, it's an always-on factory. Once I fill up the bins that are up here, it is overflowing the alumina scrap, and there's 2 lines for the alumina scrap to keep it so it doesn't back up, since these guys produce really fast. And then I've merged in the silica solution, or the silica, bagged silica, into this line as well if that fills up. So we'll go take a look at those 4 containers that are up there. Actually, it might be 3. 2, yeah, 3. No, I did do 4. Let's see. So I did alumina scrap, 2. And then this is supposed to be the silica, but it looks like this silica is currently being all used up over here. So looks like we're not producing enough of the silica. Keep these guys on an always on state, and that's because these guys are always cycling on and off, and or I miscalculated. Hard to say. This guy is done producing all of our aluminum sheets, our ironclad sheets, and this guy is producing our casings. And it looks like, so originally I designed the system to be 4, and I thought I could get away with a 5th. I'm gonna turn, oh, it looks like the 5th isn't even working, so it is only working on 4 right now. So interesting, because these guys only require 90 per minute, so 90 times 4 is 360, and then these guys are producing 60 times 6, 360. So it should actually be a perfect production here. It might be because I have them going into 2 containers instead of 1 container. That means that I'm naturally splitting this, because then I have both of these outputs going. One goes to the left and one goes to the right of this system, which means I miscalculated the use. So I probably need to combine this belt right here and then feed it into the system. So that's a quick adjustment that we can make real quick to get the silica probably at the production rate that it needs to be. But yeah, our AI buddy did help us design this entire setup. I did push the limits, and I added 2 extra refineries from what the AI had initially told us to do, and then I used the AI to downclock the 2 additional. So each one of these are set up in a bank, so there's a total of 8 here, and they're in 2 banks of 4. So the first row of 4 goes to 2 of the refineries over here, and the second row of 4 goes to the last 2 refineries over here. keep the load balancing and keep them always on, because these guys have a heavy heavy output of water, and so you got to feed the water back into this system, and these guys have a heavy input of water as well. I did just get a new recipe, unlocked the hard drive, sloppy alumina, so I could potentially boost that just by using where
do I find that purple color for the pipes?
Give me 1 second. The bauxite. So it needs 200 bauxite, but we could potentially boost our silica going into these guys, because it's interesting the way that the system's working. The silica's like kind of short sometimes. It's fine in this one. It's fine in this one. And it's okay in this one. So it's very interesting, the load balancing that's happening here. So if I probably put one of these guys online and feed into these silica lines, we'll probably be producing enough silica at that point. I could probably split into both systems at that point. Anyways, the logistics for this system's pretty crazy. For now that we have this with our aluminum casings and our aluminum plates being produced, we can go work on something else for now, because I'm fine with this. I don't need to load balance. This system will eventually catch up and turn off anyways. We're not using it for full production just yet. I just wanted to get it online. Most of the factories right now are just online factories for us to proceed in the game until we start making full-on, always-on factories that are producing end-game product. So I want to come back over to the oil field though and get the rest of the generators online, because we're going to need that power, because I want to get the quick wire over here as well as we planned, and then start setting up our computer production, and then we need to get going on heavy modular frames as well, and then we're also going to have to do supercomputers, or I think, what is it? They're just called, yeah, I think that's right. That's what it's just a supercomputer computer. No, hold on. Quantum computer, I think, is what it is now. They got rid of supercomputers. So anyways, let's get working on that.
Milestone reached. Project part number 9, nuclear pasta, can be created in the particle accelerator. The accelerator has vast and fluctuating power demands, depending on the recipe, so will need careful integration with your factory. Fix-It does not waste, so nuclear waste can be refined by the particle accelerator into plutonium for reuse in the nuclear power plant. Fun fact: Fix-It psychologists suggest factory designs reflect the minds of their creators in unexpected ways. On an unrelated note, your infrastructural choices have been interesting.
Alright, well, thanks for that, Ada. We are officially, as you saw, all done with unlocking all the way up to tier 8. So now, time to get those space elevator parts, and that's missing right now, but we will update you on the why soon. Guys, welcome back. It has been a crazy ride. I've been streaming live on Twitch, but I realized, at one point I realized I stopped doing updates, but last update we were over at the aluminum facility looking over here, and I wanted to come over here and get the rest of the turbo fuel generators online, which I did do. I messed around with balancing for a while. I had issues with the fuel getting over here back to the other side. Played with some pumps. The fluid's just very awkward in this game. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever dealt with this many in a row, trying to push, even though you're producing 600, trying to pull the 600 and then push the 600 to where it needs to go, there's like a sloshing effect that happens in the pipe, and you can kind of visually see that here. Like, it goes down, it comes up, it goes down, it comes up. That's obviously due to probably the timing of release of each of the facilities, so there's kind of like a back and forth, if you will. But I finally got it as balanced. I mean, it's as close as it's absolutely going to be, and I think all of maybe 2, maybe 4 generators are not running because it won't fill at a true 600, even though we are definitely producing just over the 600. I even overclocked these guys right here just to ensure that it was quickly dumping into this area, and then I put this pump right here to like kind of suck the suck the straw clean, if you will, and like keep it going. But yeah, so happy with it for now. Funny enough, been working on so much other stuff behind the scenes on Twitch. I realized I wasn't really recording segments for YouTube to share what the hell I was working on. So one of the things I mentioned was finishing up this and optimizing the turbo fuel, which we did, check. Another thing I mentioned was getting computers online, which we did, check. So this actually is producing way more copper than I actually ended up needing, because we went ahead and used our summer slews and overclocking over here, and we've got AI limiters being produced 10 times 2, so we've got 20, and then we've got our circuit boards at 18.75 times 2, so we're just under the 40 right there. And then we're coming into our manufacturers, making our high-speed connectors. We got those coming out at 18.75, so just under 40 as well. We got our computers coming out at just about 30. So all is running well. Oh, and then of course we have our, I stand corrected in the last little segment, it's computers and supercomputers. They got rid of quantum computers, so little fix there. And then we've got our supercomputers, which is 3.75 per minute times the 2. So we are producing, these bins have filled up, everything is in the cloud. This is a small production right now for what I'll probably have to scale later once we get into some larger parts that are actually going to require a lot of the resources. We went ahead and had to get some extra plastic going just to run this, so we got what is this, the residual plastic going, which is the water and produces or needs the polymer. So I had ran the polymer byproduct that we were sinking over there from the fuel, from the oil, all the way over here, and then now it just kind of goes into an awesome sink when when the system's turned off right now. So everything, it's not a true always on factory, and I wouldn't want it to be honest with you, because I think there's a slight imbalance of resources, and I don't think the resources technically are here. I think I didn't properly calculate with the overclocking. I'm trying to explain the overclocking in the summer summer, what the hell, however the hell you say them, to the AI has been a bit of a challenge. So I started making an Excel spreadsheet to try to train the AI based on the cells that are there for it to understand the overclocking. So I did successfully do that, and it does have a better idea of overclocking. So now I have to explain the summer slews, which I think should be easy, because I'll just be one more field in Excel, and then basically it'll be a multiplier if it's available. And then obviously I have to teach it the difference between a constructor. I think it's only 1 or 2 summer slews, and then the output multiplier on these is only 2 on here. So I guess I didn't multiply output these. It was running into, oh, I think I was running into an issue with copper or Caterium. So we got all that going. We still have our crazy belts coming in. I had to play with load balancing for the compacted coal for a little bit, but during all of this that was going on, Wolf finally got a hard drive that gave us the blender recipe that I've been wanting, which is the alternate turbo fuel blend. This recipe uses significantly less resources. I've already done all the math and the calculations, because I believe that's what we're going to start working on right now. I want to rip out the entire bottom refineries down here and or figure out if I could just repurpose them. I need 35 refineries, most of them being for plastic, or no, sorry, rubber now, to produce the heavy oil residue, and only 5 fuel refineries to 14 blenders, and then we'll have to downclock one just a little bit, and then we'll need sulfur. So I took the same sulfur node. I'm going to get rid of these belts because we won't need the coal anymore as well, which is nice, which gives me back my coal. Another story for another day. But I droned in the sulfur coming in, so we have plenty of sulfur coming in. We only need 330 per minute, and then I kind of forget the rest of the numbers, but I have an idea of what needs to happen. So what I had done was last night on stream before I got off, I put all these battery banks up here, and I plan on leaving them anyways. I put them in between the rows, the non-service rows, if you will. And basically, this allows storage of power, obviously, right? I'm hoping that I put enough here that when I cut the power down here, I'll have enough time to rebuild everything I need to, and then get the blenders online and get the refineries online, and then get the turbo fuel pumping again and get these generators back online. What that should also do is I should be able to scale the blender setup an additional, because we're only using 1,000 crude oil, and I believe on my sheet I have 1,500 total between 2 pure nodes and a normal node. So if I had to, I can train in another car and I can get 2,000. I could double the recipe, which would give me another 80 fuel generators. So plenty of power to still be had over here. Lots of work to do. Let's get going. All right. Not a bad project, but we got it all finished up. I just got to clean up the assemblers there for the compacted coal. No big deal. But we've got all 14 of our turbo fuel recipe blenders online, and it is working out much nicer than the original recipe. So take a look at our power. Got perfect 20,000 for the 80 generators that are there. My batteries got down to about, I think it was about 20 minutes left total before I brought the plants online. I left these plants in place, and then I kind of deleted all of these two rows here. And in hindsight, I wish I would have thought about it a little clearer, because I had to like run the heavy purple over here for the petroleum coke, and then I had to run the belt back over here. Like, so in all honesty, if I would have flipped these guys around, I could have put the oil, and I mean, I could have made the change real fast, but I was trying to beat the clock. I didn't finish painting the pipes just yet. I wanted to paint these all purple, paint those black, paint this one purple. So a little bit of cleanup yet to do, but ultimately happy with the way it turned out. I also believe I would have, my new favorite thing is to hide the power cables under the floor too. But I don't know, I could have probably planned this out a little bit better too, like flipping this around. This way the oil was coming in the back, and then the belts all ran down the left side, exited the right. So didn't really take that into account, but I made it work nonetheless with the logistics and the space that we have. So got everything dumping in. We're now producing like 600 rubber per minute. We've still got the old row of rubber, which is 200. Rubber. 600 rubber per minute from those guys over there to get the heavy residue, and then we've got, you know, heavy residue or oil over here for rubber as well, 200. So we've got like 800, 900 per minute in rubber and plastic still being produced. Plastic is boosted by another 200 from here for the plant. So yeah, everything is 100% up and running. Ended up using these little valves right here to control the slushing that I was talking about earlier. But now if we take a look in the tanks, all of the buffer tanks are 400, and all of our generators are successfully online. So what I like about this new blender setup is we can use the summer slews to overclock them, if you will, or double their output. It costs 4 per, so it would be pretty expensive, but one row of 7 would end up being 600 output per line per row, so we'd be able to double the generator capacity in the future if we absolutely have to, before we start hitting with or playing with nuclear. But we're gonna make this one kind of a short, well, no, I'm done personally for the day, so I'm gonna get off stream. Actually did get off stream already, just recording, and then we'll go over and I will show you guys the mega base that we started back on in the starter green fields. So go check that out. Alright guys, we're back over here in the green fields, and as you can see, our mega factory has come quite a long way. This is primarily all iron. Actually, in fact, this is all iron. I am importing coal from a node over here behind this pillar, and then we are importing some iron ingot or steel ingots as well from the coal steel plant back over pond there where man, lots of words today, where our coal generators are. Gee. So yeah, this is all producing and collecting. As of right now, we've got about 3,200 iron coming here and producing 3,200 ingots. And then we are producing all of your starter parts all the way up to motors. So everything iron is being produced here. Over here on this second wing that I'm starting to build, it will be our copper. As you can see, I started getting the smelters going down here. There's 28 smelters in a row, and we're capturing 2 600 nodes, so normal nodes fully overclocked. So there'll be a little extra going on. Those won't run at 100% efficiency. That's fine, but if I was to backfill or or level these out with another node in the area. Once we get the next level belt, we can only do 780 on a current Mach 5, but you need the 1-to-1 ratio for 30 to 30 for ingots. But I am preparing this whole area, and this train station will be all for copper ingots for the required crazy amount that you need for nuclear pasta, which is a staggering 12,640 iron copper ingots for copper powder for nuclear pasta. So this will end up being our copper plant, if you will, right next door to the iron plant, and then somewhere over here will be our nuclear pasta production. Potentially in this field area over there is where I will build it, and then this train station will potentially become 2 as I need to bring things in or out. But we've been extensively using drones so far through the world, and copper node out here that I'm collecting on the railway system here. But yeah, this is our mega build, first mega build. But I think we're gonna take our. I'm not gonna tour it. Not going to tour the factory as of right now. You know what's funny is I'm realizing now I did not set up a more access for here, so getting in and out. Yeah, we're stuck unless we come over to the bridge over here actually. But we've got our motors being made right here. We've got 40 motors per minute coming out as the final production, and then we're storing a lot of the production into bins and then into the cloud as well for standard use. Everything is on idle right now since everything's at capacity. Every single station or part of the manufacturing is on a power switch, and then there is a priority switch for the iron and a priority switch for the copper plant. But everything can be turned on and off individually. I just need to go around and put signs here. I meant to do that, but I just kept going. I just kept grinding and grinding. You'll see MAMs everywhere because I was researching hard drives, trying to unlock everything for all the hard drives that we got. But yeah, there's, funny enough, looks like a drone is potentially broken here because I'm seeing Ethereum coming in. These should actually be wire right now, and they are not. Why? Because there was still wire in the system. Reason. Well, let me fix that real quick. Alright, now that that's fixed, yeah, copper ink. Wait, I'm using an alternate recipe here. So we've got the Caterium wire that does 120 wire per minute, just off Caterium ingots. So I've got Caterium ingots coming in. At one point I selected Quickwire Hill, which Quickwire Hill is actually already producing quick wire, so not the ingot. So I had to switch that, and I made a mistake twice when I was moving this side of the building. Anyways, yeah, so now motors will get spun back up and these systems will come back to life. So yeah, as we can see, we don't even have a surplus of them yet because, well, we had one part of the manufacturing off apparently due to my error. So now that that's running, we'll let everything catch up. No big deal there. Let me just check this over here. This should be producing steel ingots, and then we're producing steel pipes. And why? Oh yeah, because both use the each left and right side of these assemblers are using one's using the original recipe for stators, and the other one is using an alt recipe for rotors. The stators and rotors, and then since the recipes are equal, they both take wire and steel pipe. So that makes it kind of nice, and then I've put some summer slews in here so that we can output double the capacity. Otherwise I would have needed 16 assemblers per. There's currently just 9 on each side. Total capacity, I forget. I should probably put my signs up so that I can read that stuff off fast for you guys. Promise I'll have that done in the next one. But I think what I want to focus on now, or what we should go focus on now, is that I had scaled our turbo plant production so that we could split the 14 blenders that are back over there to double our power capacity. Our production is 26,000 right now, 27. Something's fluctuating a little bit over there. The guys have their own small little power grid going where they're building as well. They got turbo motors going out near the Red Forest. But you could see if everything was on, we are way over our capacity. Not way over, but we're over, right? So not that everything would kick on at one time anyways, and we have priority switches. I'm not too concerned with it, but it's time to scale power again. So again, with the 14 blenders that I have, if we put the summer slews in there, we can make 2 600 lines of turbo fuel, which means we can fuel 2 sets or 2 blocks of 80 generators. Will give us another 20,000 in power. So I think I'm going to do that because it'll be pretty much quick. All I have to do is just build out the design and then place all the generators down, get it all plumbed up, and then put the summer slews in, split the 2 turbo fuel lines, and off to the races. We'll have a whole another 20,000 megawatts, which will then bring us into the next project, which is power, because nuclear pasta is going to require a lot of power. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to build the nuclear plant out up here in the coast area. And we're off this coast right here. It's nice and flat, plenty of water here. We've already got our train stations coming in, so we can extend the rail out if we have to. We've got, I believe there's nuclear uranium here. There's obviously nuclear in the cave over here, so we've got a couple different sources. So we will get that figured out, but we're getting really close to nuclear power because we're also going to need some of that byproduct for nuclear pasta. So let's get busy with the turbo gunner. Alright, back over here at the oil fields, and we've got next 20 turbo generators placed. Plumbing going on these. Batteries on the battery rows for queen, and then I did a good little spacing and extended the platform. We'll do 2 rows of batteries here as well. This should help with all the fluctuation that we're going to have with our particle accelerators. So, let's keep on going. Alright guys, we got the additional 80 turbo generators online, and split the 7 of the blenders goes to 80 and the other 7 go to the other 80, so 2 banks of 80. Then we went ahead and put in the alien augmenter, creating total. Fly down here, wait for it. 58,000, it's fluctuating a little bit, between 58,000 and 57,000 megawatts. So, next up in the next video, we will start our nuclear production because the mega plant is on hold for the copper, because we technically need nuclear production and nuclear power anyways for the insane amount that particle accelerators require in power, one, but then also the pellets from the waste that we're going to need for the particle accelerators as well. So, for now, this is where we're going to leave this episode. Until next time, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, leave any comments in the comments below. And as always, you can catch me live building in between all of this craziness on twitch.tv/MrToX M8. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next one.